the Leeds United Show. This week we'll be joined by a special guest, a Leeds United legend following the club from afar.
I mean, for me, I would have loved, yes, to play under Marcelo because it looks like a brilliant coach.
And we'll be previewing the return to Ellen Road as the Seagulls arrive in West Yorkshire.
If it's going to be a big midfield battle, which I expect it will be against you guys, it'll be a very open game the way you guys press. He could be absolutely pivotal in that midfield.
Right, Lucas Radebe, thank you so much for joining us on the Leeds United Show. It's an absolute pleasure to have you with us. Is it still too late to say Happy New Year? Where are we at with that?
No, we're still in the month, so it's still brand new. So it's not too late at all. So Happy New Year to you.
Thank you very much, and a Happy New Year to you, albeit a strange one. So first things first, Lucas, how are you and your family keeping?
Under the circumstances, we're in a very difficult times, and I think the most important thing is to make sure that your family first is safe. Especially with me, we're gallivanting around and trying to make things happen and make sure that I take a precaution. But otherwise, we are well. Everybody's indoors. We keeping according to the regulations and then we're coping, but it's very tough and strange, the times that we're living in at the moment.
Well, Lucas, I just want to echo what Emma's saying there. It's great to see. I'm sure all your family is safe and well. But let's talk about football. We've got you on the show to talk about football and the start that Leeds have made back to life in the Premier League. How impressed have you been?
I've been impressed, and especially I think with the philosophy of Marcelo Bielsa. But I think the most important thing is for them to get back in the big time. And I mean it's been a long time, and to be honest, everyone who's a Leeds fan has been waiting for this time to come. And unfortunately, Norman Hunter as well, as he said that it was his dream to see Leeds United back in the Premier League. I mean, hopefully he can see that, through our eyes. But we're all delighted to see and excited to see that Leeds United are back in action again and playing some entertaining football.
You mentioned the philosophy of Marcelo Bielsa there, Lucas, and there's so much talk around the style of play and the approach of this Leeds United team. How much would you have liked to have played in this team?
Yeah, very strange, to be honest. It's not that, it's a different club, actually, the way they play. And I think the approach, it excited each and every one of us, again, it's so interesting to see, how Marcelo, will get the players, going, especially at the rate that they are playing at, I mean, for me, I would have loved, yes, to play under Marcelo because he looks like a brilliant coach. And I think he's one of those who are respected, by his namesakes, and which is amazing. And for me, he's showing now in the Premier League, with his reputation, and it's been absolutely fantastic. And I would love to be as fit as those boys. That's one of the things that I would love to. I mean, I think they're like 110% fit. And again, it's interesting. How he prepares for the game. I would love to know more. I would have liked to learn more about that, the preparation in the training ground and the preparation as well in the changing room, with the team talk, which I think it's amazing.
I'm just picturing a team now with you in Marcelo Bielsa's side, Lucas. It's giving me goosebumps actually. But some of the results we've had this season, especially the teams in and around us, we've picked up some really valuable wins. But then also the top teams, your likes of Liverpool's, Man City's, we've really given them a game. So the entertainment value has been there, hasn't it, Lucas? And I just want to know, in your home country, your homeland, South Africa, how are people viewing Leeds United now?
You know, it's amazing the following that we have. I think it's awakened everybody else, you know, who's been a Leeds supporter when I was at the club. And it's not that, it's everybody's impressed, you know, to how they've started, not they've started, how we've started, and how we've really approached, especially against the big teams, Man City, you know, Liverpool. You know, yes, it's a bit disappointing to see, you know, some of the results against the other team, you know, that was red. I don't really need to mention that, but for me, I think the important thing is the following and the exciting performance that we've seen with all the individuals who has been transformed, you know, to better players and quality that we see in the Premier League. And I think the fans all around and people here, you know, they are really fascinated about that. And I get calls every time when Leeds United plays. You know, there'll be a few people that's calling me, are you watching? Are you know, and a few calls, and we're chatting about, and obviously we've got a Leeds United supporters club here who are really massive supporters, and it's so exciting to hear everybody else around, you know, the club, you know, talking positive and so excited about what the club can achieve and what they see, you know, in Marcelo and through the team, which is for me, you know, it shows that the intention is not just to stay, you know, in the Premier League, but is to do even better than that.
It certainly is. And it's amazing to hear that, you know, they're being talked about in the way they should be on a global scale. But I guess in your opinion then, Lucas, in terms of their style of play, how brave is this team for a newly promoted side?
You know, Emma, I think one thing that I'm impressed with is the attitude, you know, of the players towards, you know, the style of play. You know, I think with Marcelo Bielsa, you know, he instilled that into the players, but to show the braveness, you know, and at how they play with so much confidence. You know, it seems like they've been there in the Premier League because they're not showing any respect, you know, to especially the big teams. But the way they play their game from the back, I wouldn't have done that. Taking all those chances, you know, pass with the goalkeeper. but that shows the confidence and the quality that they are. You know, and which for me, I think it's very, very impressive, and it shows, you know, how much, you know, all those players have improved, and obviously, you know, as we play more games, we're gonna even get better, which I think we're gonna get more good results and exciting performances throughout the season.
Lucas, what's been your highlight? Because, as we mentioned, we've been involved in so many incredible games, but is there a highlight that sticks out for you?
I think, you know, let me first say, you know, with all the individuals there, I mean, they're great players. I don't think that title of Dirty Leeds suits them anymore, you know, because they play better football, you know, and for me, I think the most impressive is how we've came back against Newcastle. I mean, that was a fantastic game to get 5 goals, you know, and such fantastic goals for me. And to be honest, it shows that we are capable as long as we can defend better, you know. But we are capable of scoring goals and giving teams problems. But against we're vulnerable, you know, in terms of counter attacks and that. But I think for me, you know, once they bolster the squad and then get a little bit of more quality, not that, you know, especially in the squad where we can at least have depth, you know, which it will be brilliant. I think this is an amazing, each and every game. It's exciting. I've missed only one game yesterday, you know, the FA Cup. But I've been watching every game with friends, with family, and it's all excitement around me, you know, when they score, you know, obviously, you know, actually the guys from Norway, they actually even zooming, you know, just to watch the game together, which is amazing, you know, it's so exciting.
And do you know what, especially at a time like we're in right now in the world, that's incredible that football, Leeds United are bringing fans together in this way. That is amazing. I love hearing that, Lucas. But, go on, sorry.
Yeah. No, go on, Emma, sorry.
But for you, which players have stood out for you the most so far this season?
You know, I think we've got, as I said, you know, the attitude of all the individuals are absolutely brilliant. You know, I'm in touch with Liam Cooper most of the time. We chat about the club, we chat about the performances, and which is very impressive to hear the positivity and how they're hungry for success. You know, in the Premier League, you know, there's no fear, you know, in what they want to achieve. So obviously, yes, you know, the Leeds fans are very passionate, you know, about the club, you know, all over globally, and it's a massive following, you know, which to be honest, it shows how special this club is, you know, whether they're playing away, they're playing at home, you know, it's a pity that you don't have the fans, you know, at the stadiums, because it could have been a different atmosphere. But I think they're showing us, you know, the quality that the club that they want to get back and want to give to the Premier League. And the Premier League is excited to have Leeds United back because they're playing a different kind of football. It's very exciting. And it excites even the opposition because they don't know how to deal with us, you know?
And on top of that, we've obviously got one of the best managers in the world. In your opinion, Lucas, obviously you've played under some great managers at your time in Leeds and in your career. What makes him stand out? How do you think he's got the best out of the players and made him succeed at the club?
Yeah, I think, you know, as an individual, as a person himself, I think he bought into what Leeds is all about. I think that's one of the most important things, and I think it speaks a lot, you know, about the history of the club, and what as this club intend to do, because it's not just a football club. You know, it's got great history, you know, and great players, because whoever is associated with the club, he becomes part of the family, which is great, and which is, I think that's what Marcelo Bielsa is like at the moment. You know, you can see his passion towards the club, and that passion rubs off to the players. You know, I mean, people like Calvin Phillips, I mean, he's been a revelation. He's been absolutely fantastic. Liam Cooper at the back, Strike, you know, Povida, you know, I'm so impressed with all those individuals. I mean, the rate that they play football in, I mean, it's absolutely amazing. For me, you know, I wouldn't say maybe which one stands out, but I think they're all working hard, and they're very honest about it, you know, looking at them in the field of play, which for me, I think it says a lot about the club as a whole, you know, not just the team, but the club as a whole, that the spirit there is absolutely amazing. It's a pity I'm not there I wasn't there, and I can't be there to watch them. I'm telling you, I'll be glad to get that opportunity to do that.
Oh, it would be incredible. And you mentioned as well, Lucas, that Marcelo clearly loves the club, and that ripples through the fans, and that love is reciprocated completely, isn't it? But I mean, 2 home games coming up over this next week, Brighton and Southampton. What are your predictions for them, Lucas?
The one thing that is exciting is that, the Premier League now, the results can go either way. It's all exciting games now. I mean, Brighton, who would thought Brighton would still be in the Premier League, and doing so well. And they've acquired the signature of my one of my South African boys, Tau, who has been on loan, in Belgium, which is going to be exciting, when he has to come to Ellen Road to play. But again, these are the teams that we should get maximum points. Not to disrespect the other club, but especially if we're playing at home, it's very, very important this time of the year that we get 3 points, and I think we will do. At Brighton, yes, we will definitely. I think not definitely, but I think we will if we play as good as we know we can. And surely that's. The 6 points will do us good in the league. I think we'll have to get up, and be in the top 10, this time of the year, so that we can give ourselves a chance, to finish, in a way that will make everyone happy.
When you play, Lucas, did you look at these type of fixtures and the teams in and around you as kind of more important games, just to beat kind of those in and around you, just to push yourself further kind of towards the table, up the table, and just get that psychological advantage?
It is important to get that winning mentality, instilled in the players, especially when we play against teams like Brighton. And I think it would be great for the morale. It'd be brilliant for the players. And I think Leeds, it's a team that, to be honest, has stamped its authority, in the Premier League. And I think these are the games that we should show that, we mean business. We don't want to leave any stone unturned. We want to be the best among some great clubs in the Premier League, and I think it will be very crucial that to all the individuals, for their morale as well, because obviously it's been a bit up and down with the results, not that consistent. But if you get, if you get good results, it boosts the morale and it boosts the confidence of the players, especially if you get maximum points in succession games, it's a great opportunity.
It certainly is a great opportunity. And realistically, Lucas, where do you think this team can finish in the league this season?
Yeah, that's a good question, because as I've said, that the attitude of those players and the manager, obviously, they want to finish possibly top 5, which it's going to be hard. I mean, we've seen that, the Premier League, if you don't defend better, you can be found out. But realistically, I think we can finish in the top 10, possibly in the top 8, if we really, become consistent in getting results and in making sure that we don't concede as much, especially at home, which I think it will benefit us a lot.
Lucas, now we've got you on the show, we have to speak about your time as a player at the club. And not a lot of people know, I was a scholar when you were still at the club, and let me say from my personal point of view, as much of a legend on the pitch, you're an even better guy off it, which speaks volumes for you personally. But what's your memories like being at the club, being in Europe, challenging for the Premier League? What stands out when you look back?
Oh man, I'm getting goosebumps and I'm actually tearing a little bit because, this is the club that made me who I am, and I think I still feel that I belonged, and I belong to the club, because if you speak about Leeds United around, everybody mentions my name, which is absolutely amazing. And my time at the club was absolutely amazing. I understand in the field of play, but to have that interaction with the fans, especially those ones who were sitting in the front, and there's the backroom stuff, Glado and them, the groundsmen, John and Ian, it was like a family, and I felt so comfortable being at such a club. I think that really made me even give 100% every time, and because they embraced me so much that, I was part, not just a player at the club, but I was part of Yorkshire, as I said, because some people were calling me a Yorkshire man, which is not bad, even if I didn't have the accent, but I tried, So for me, I think the testimonial that showed, the respect, that the club has showed me, and the appreciation of my contribution towards the club. It was absolutely amazing, and I'll never forget that.
I mean, you say you felt like you were part of Yorkshire. You still are part of Yorkshire, Lucas. And I bet as soon as we're allowed, I bet you can't wait to get over here and see a game, can you?
Absolutely. I would love to see them play live. Just being there and cheering them on. It would be absolutely brilliant. And for me, I think it will feel normal. When I'm there. Obviously, yes, we do understand, what we're facing at the moment, but to be with the fans, to be, just to have that atmosphere, just, singing, and it's a wonderful atmosphere at Allen Road, home and away, because when they were in the championship, I went to some of the games, and it was absolutely still. In the championship, they were a better team in terms of the fans than anybody else, which you can imagine now with the excitement of them being back and playing the football that they are doing at the moment. It will be electric.
Oh, it feels like a distant dream, but I cannot wait for that moment when it happens again. And Lucas, I can't wait for you to be able to come over and watch a game once more for real. Thank you so much. It's been absolutely wonderful having you on the Leeds United Show. Thank you, Lucas Radebe.
Yeah, thank you very much, Emma. And I think I'd like to say as well, what the chairman has done to the club, he has transformed them. I think. That is the reason that the club is where it is, and hopefully, we'll soon see them competing in the Champions League. Hopefully, fingers crossed, because that's where they belong. That's where they belong. But thanks to you, Emma. Thanks to Ben. It's for me being able to talk about the club that I love. That is very close to my heart. I can go on until the following day, which is absolutely amazing.
Well, to be honest, we've got all day and night if you want to stay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lucas. What a lovely guy he is, isn't he, Ben?
Honestly, they don't make him like them anymore, because like I said, I remembered when I was in the youth team, coming after we just got relegated. So you can imagine the place, all doom and gloom, a lot of change personnel player-wise. But he stuck around. And for me, being a massive Leeds fan, I used to watch him week in, week out. And then I'm rubbing shoulders with him day to day. And to be honest, he looked after us in the youth team so well. We had a young South African player, Josh Vermooten, and he put his arm around Josh straight away, amongst all those young players as well. So, like I said in that piece to him, fantastic leader, legend on the pitch, but an even better guy off it. So great to see the Chief there.
And a big game as well for the first team as Brighton head to Ellen Road on Saturday.
Brighton heads to Ellen Road, and in particular, a certain Ben White comes back as well. So
yeah,
I think following on from what Lucas was saying there, it's 2 games, both at home, looking to get maximum points but we have to start with Brighton because they're a team. They're a team where they play all right, but the results don't match kind of the performances. A lot of draws along the way. So look, it'll be a difficult game. They play free at the back, or predominantly have done. But the onus is on us, Ellen Road. We'll just start to make it a bit more of a fortress. Those kind of wins, like against your Burnleys, Newcastle, just gives that confidence when we come back to Ellen Road. So we'll be looking to pick up where we kind of left off there. But we know it's a difficult game. And again, we know if we have to get maximum points out, we have to be bang at it.
Leeds United returned to league action against Brighton on Saturday at Ellen Road. Jack Durkin has been chatting to fans of both clubs to get their thoughts on the big game.
You guys can go to sleep happy before the game knowing he will not be playing because he's got a hamstring problem.
Welcome to another episode of the Fans Panel. Today we're going to be looking ahead to the game this weekend against Brighton at Ellen Road. Today I'm joined by Mike from the Leeds Fans Panel and Charlie from BHA today. Thanks for joining us, guys. Back to Premier League action this weekend. Leeds, Mike, are currently sitting in 12th, just before the halfway stage of the season. How do you think it's been out of 10 so far? Has it been a good season for us so far? And what are your thoughts?
Well, I would just give us 8 out of 10 so far. I think that really, I don't know if I speak for most fans, but all I'm worried about is staying up. Get to 40 points and I'm a happy bunny. And then I can start to enjoy the football. So yeah, I think that we still have to look at the squad that we have. We've brought in a few, but obviously 1 or 2 can't play. And I think that to have played the way they've played and to have got the results they've got. I mean, obviously we've had the odd drubbing here and there, but the players, the coach and everything has just done really, really well. And I think it's as much as we could expect mid-table after 16 games.
Yeah, 7.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Charlie, for you, Brighton, how do you think your season's going so far?
It's been disappointing to say the least, to be honest, mate. We were hoping to be right in the mix around mid-table, probably where you guys are, to be honest, competing with the bunch. But we've fallen apart, really. We've just not been able to be clinical enough in front of goal. We've created loads of opportunities. I'm sure you would have seen us on TV with fantastic football under Graham Potter. But the actual goal scoring hasn't been good enough. And we are, at the moment, we're in 17th position in the Premier League, a couple of points above the drop zone. And Fulham, who are below us, have got a couple of games in hand on us. So it is looking a bit nervy. And, well, I know you rated 8 out of 10 for your season, Mike. For us, I think I would have to go for a 4 or a 5. I know we're not in a relegation zone. We're not a huge club. But with the squad we've got, the football we're playing, we need to be higher up than that.
Going from that, Charlie, obviously you've just said there you've struggled to score goals. You haven't picked up a win in a while either. You've recalled Percy Tarr, I believe it is, from his loan spell. Do you think he could help with a win this weekend and pick up 3 points on the road for you?
I hope so. I'd be silly not to say that. He played against Newport. He came off the bench in the FA Cup. That was a terrible performance, not going to lie. We drew 1-1 to Newport. We scraped through on penalties in the FA Cup. It wasn't good enough. But when he came off the bench, he did look really dangerous. His first ever appearance for us. We've actually had him in the club for 2 years now, but he was struggling to get a work permit. He played in Anderlecht and played for Club Brugge last year, played at the Bernabeu against Real Madrid and the likes. So he's had a lot of experience. He's 26 now, played for the South African national team, and he is absolutely rapid. We don't have someone like that in our forward line. Neil Maupay, he's got a little bit of speed, but he's not that fast player who can accelerate past defenders. Percy Tau looks like that. Will he start against you? I'm not too sure. We're playing against Man City on Wednesday night as well. So it all depends on squad rotation from Graham Potter. But if he could come off the bench or start, I think he'd definitely cause problems. And 3 points, I'm not sure about that, but it will definitely be an open game and his pace could definitely light up your defence.
Definitely. Well, like you say, the pace could change the game for you guys. Mike, going back to you. After a couple of changes to our squad recently with injuries, hopefully this weekend we're going to see the return of Cooper coming back in, and hopefully Llorente might be on the bench. Don't know whether or not he'll start. Do you think those two, especially Cooper, obviously having the captain back, will make a difference to our back four and hopefully get us a win this weekend?
Yeah, well, I've been really impressed actually with the way our back four has operated without them. I think that Ayling and Strike have done pretty well actually, and if Llorente doesn't manage to come back for the game, then I'm pretty confident with Strike. He's a good player, although from the game against Crawley, it looked as though what Bielsa's plan is with Strike is to put him into defensive midfield in place of Phillips.
Yeah.
But I think that nevertheless, you have a couple of specialist centre backs playing where they should play. That helps, and where Cooper really helps is with his defensive organisation. You know, you can hear him without the crowd noise. You can actually hear him telling players, "Look, do this, do that," and that's as important as anything, I think. And then you'll have Ayling back in his proper place, and then perhaps Dallas at left back, or maybe shifting then into midfield.
Yeah.
So I think it'll help in that way, and I look forward to seeing Llorente. I saw him play for Spain against Portugal, and basically, I mean, he had Ronaldo in his pocket. It was amazing.
Can't say that very often, can you?
Yeah, no. In fact, that may have caused his injury. You know, the weight of Ronaldo carried him around.
Yeah, it'd be good to actually see, like you say, see Llorente in action, because we haven't seen much of him. He obviously came on against Chelsea, but then got injured during that game. So it's been a bit unlucky for him to the start of this season. Charlie, you mentioned Percy Tau. Is there anyone else that you think could be your danger man that could give us problems on Saturday?
Well, Neil Maupay, I mentioned him earlier in the episode. If he can be in form and actually have his shooting boots on, he could definitely be a threat. He's our top scorer in the Premier League this season. And at the start of the year, he looked like he was going to be a fantastic striker for us. He scored like 4 in 4 games. And I thought, right, okay, he could definitely get into maybe 10, 15 goals this season. He's slowed down. He's hit a poor run of form, but he's got a couple of goals in his last Premier League game. So I'm hoping that takes him through. His confidence should be building again, and he could be a real threat if he can convert his chances. Another player who you might have noticed this season is Yves Bissouma. He has been absolutely amazing in that midfield. He's just been running the show, winning the ball back, creating chances, a real box-to-box midfielder. And if it's going to be a big midfield battle, which I expect it will be against you guys, it'll be a very open game the way you guys press. He could be absolutely pivotal in that midfield. Tariq Lamptey's another one. If he was fit, he would be a massive threat. You guys can you can go to sleep happy before the game knowing he will not be playing because he's got a hamstring problem. But I'm sure you guys have heard about it and you've seen the highlights. He's been sensational down that right wing back. But without him, I'm not sure who will play there. Maybe someone like Joel Veltman or Steve Alzate. But we really do lack that pace. And we're talking about Percy Tau before. He's not a right wing back. If he can play on that right wing or up front, then that could make up for the lack of Lamptey.
You talk about a midfield battle. Obviously, this Saturday, Mike, we haven't got Calvin Phillips due to suspension, 5 yellow cards. Do you think that will affect the team? We seem to always talk about Calvin not being in the team and how that will affect it. But with the players that we've got, do you think that that's going to affect it massively? Because obviously we've got, like you say, Dallas, you've got Struijk, who's going to probably step in more than likely with Cooper coming back. Do you think that we can obviously not cope necessarily, but still get the 3 points without Calvin in the team?
Yeah, well, I'm always optimistic. So yeah, I mean, I'm confident. Yeah, I don't see why we hopefully shouldn't get 3 points. Nothing against Brighton, but hopefully our form suggests that we will. But yeah, I think Calvin is a huge miss. I think that he is absolutely pivotal to us. I think it's if we are being pressed, then it's his timely interceptions to nick the ball off someone just as they're approaching our penalty area. And if the other side isn't pressing us, then he's got that kind of quarterback type role where he just pings the ball around and holds everything together. So I think that Calvin, he's just one of our top players. And I think that, when one of your top players is out, you will miss them. So, yeah, I don't see that we've really got a straightforward replacement there. Struijk was in there, but I forget which game, and he was okay. he was okay, but I think his better position is as a centre back.
Yeah, agreed.
So yeah, I think I think that is a big hole for us. Yeah.
Going from obviously Charlie saying that Maupay was their most dangerous player, Mike, who do you think is ours, and who do you think can obviously win the game for us on Saturday? You've seen Bamford in good goal scoring form, who obviously we missed at the weekend. We've seen Glick, who is like, when he's on his day, he's probably our best player. We've seen Harrison come back into form a little bit recently. Who do you think is going to be that talisman almost?
Yeah, I think our real X factor is Rafinha.
Right.
I really think that he's the one. He's got genuine gas, so I think that Bamford, he's great. Rodrigo, yes, providing I think we're more on top in the game. But I think that Rafinha, I love his attitude. He doubles back in defence. But he's really got that. Certain X factor that you can plan for, but he can just undo you in a second. Yeah,
he's a flair player, isn't he? He can change. He can change the game with his fingers. Can I get a score prediction from you both on how you think the game's going to go out? Charlie, we'll start with you as the away fan. We'll start with you. Let's see how you think the game's going to go.
Okay, so I'm normally very optimistic. I do a podcast every week, before games, after games. I'm always quite optimistic, but against you guys in a really good run of form, and I've been very impressed with how you played this season. You've been very experimental. You've been very attacking. You don't see that normally from promoted teams, and I've been really impressed with that, to be honest. Your defence, though it hasn't quite been at the level you'd hope for, I think you conceded like 30 goals so far this season. So, as I was saying before, a very open game. I expect it to be quite high scoring. I would probably take a 2-2 draw. With the form we're in, we haven't got a win in 9 games in all competitions. Yeah. I think a 2-2 draw will be quite fair, considering like the way both teams are going to be looking at this game.
Mike, what do you think?
I think 2-1. I think we'll win 2-1. I think that with Calvin missing, I think we may let one in, and I think Maupay is a threat from set pieces. But I feel reasonably confident, touch wood, that we can get a couple. Yeah. Sorry, would you mind if I just ask Charlie something?
Go for it, Mike. Go for it.
Yeah. Charlie, obviously, you've got Ben White back from us for a season. And I just wondered what you think about how he's been. And from what I've seen, Potter seems to be sometimes playing him in midfield. And I just wondered what you're thinking of him.
I thought this might prop up because it was a big story in the summer about whether Ben White would be going to Leeds permanently. Obviously, he was fantastic for you guys in the Championship. I think I saw him play in defence midfield a few times towards the end of your Championship campaign. For us, he's been playing all over the shop. And I just wish that Graham Potter would choose one position for him. Yes, it's okay to sometimes move him into midfield in the middle of a game if that's a good tactical decision. But there's not been any consistency. He's sometimes in right centre-back, then he's at the left of the three, then he's in midfield. He even played at right wing-back against West Ham. So he's been very impressive, don't get me wrong. His ball-playing defensive abilities have been brilliant for us, but I just want to see him in one position in particular. I think against you guys, it'd be good to have him in defence. I think he would definitely secure the defence alongside Adam Webster and Lewis Dunk. I think that's our best three at the back. So I'd like to see that, especially against Rafinha. You mentioned him. We struggle against fast and skillful wingers. We saw that against Arsenal. Bukayo Saka tore us to shreds when Dan Burn was playing. We saw that against Wolves. Pedro Neto, he had a shot and then it went off. Dan Burn for an own goal. We struggle against those fast wingers. So Ben White in defence would definitely help us against the likes of Rafinha.
Yeah, well, interesting.
Yeah, hopefully Ben White doesn't come back to bite us in the bum for being a servant for us after the season. But guys, thank you very much for joining us. It's always a pleasure to get fans on and get their point of view. Thank you very much, guys, and hopefully we'll see a great game this weekend. And sorry, Charlie, but hopefully 3 points for Leeds.
I hope not.
Thank you very much, guys. Top guys for joining us. Thank you.